I wasn't sacked. I'm a stand-up comedian and I was cancelled. And he said, oh, and what does that mean? And I said, well, it depends who you ask. Give me a cheer if you've ever experienced remorse. Wonderful. Me as well. Now give me another cheer if you believe in the human idea of redemption, the idea that you can have done something wrong and then grow and improve as a person based on the mistakes that you've made. Fabulous. I killed a little boy. I haven't really. It's a joke. That's the first joke in the show. What I do is I get everybody to buy into the idea of redemption, and then I tell you that I've done something irredeemable, and it's gotcha, like. And sometimes I'll get a huge rolling laugh, and not always though. It's fine. That's what I do. Yeah, amazing how. That's all right. What is it?
I'm so sorry. It's time to take my meds.
It's your time to take your medicine. Oh, dear. Well, I wouldn't want you dying 7 minutes into the show, would I? Thank God we're doing 2 shows, you know? How was it? I tell you how the gig went. I killed. I killed. To the extent that one of the audience members is now sadly a corpse. Well, I hope you're all right. Are you going to be all right? Do you want me to stop for you to take your medicine? But we got enough room on the SD cards for him to take his medicine. I was expecting an easier start, to be honest, but with the feedback and now your, ailments, I don't know where I am. Do you want to take your medicine? Do you have it with you? No. Are you going to be all right? Okay, the heart's not going to go boom if I'm too funny, will it? I don't know what it is. Anyway, I don't have time. It's sad Adam asked you what you did for a living and not do you have any chronic conditions. Maybe that's a better entry point for our crowd work possibilities. Right, well, give me a cheer if you've ever experienced remorse. No, okay. If we could all reinvest in that tension that I was building. I haven't killed a little boy, okay? It's just something I say at the beginning of the show. There's a distance there between what I was saying and so I haven't, okay? I would kill a little boy if the circumstances were right. But if you think about it, that's true for everyone who has ever killed a little boy. It's just what those circumstances being right are differ from child killer to child killer. Well, I'm Alfie anyway. It's lovely to be here. I'm an extremely empathetic person, a hugely, hugely empathetic man. I'm maybe the most empathetic person you'd ever have seen or met. A huge, huge empath. I have a huge empathy facility. You'd never have seen anybody empathize quite like me. When I empathize, it really is something different, something to behold. I'm more empathetic than all of you. And I know that might not be what you want to hear on a night out, but I am. I'm more empathetic than all of you. And I'm sorry, I have no idea how that must feel. But I am. I'm so deeply... You'd never have seen anybody empathize quite like me. The way I do it, when I empathize, it's quite something to behold. You know, when you see those charity adverts on TV, and it'll say something like, people are starving in East Africa. So like, I'll watch that, and I'll go, what? No! Oh. So that's pretty empathetic, I think, you know? The weird thing about me is that I'm so empathetic that not only can I empathize with those people in East Africa who are starving, I'm so empathetic that I can also empathize with the warlords and corrupt government officials who keep those people in starvation. Because I look at them and I go, yeah, you know, I get it. Okay? Power is addictive, you know? I want to keep my stuff too. I understand, all right? I can empathize with those who are suffering and with those who cause suffering. Okay? That's the information that you're going to want to remember for the end of this routine if you would like to enjoy the final joke in its maximum. Okay? I can empathize with those who are suffering and with those who cause suffering. I can empathize with everyone. I can empathize with you, madam. You haven't laughed yet, that I've seen. And I can empathize with you. I see you're laughing a little bit now, but more out of awkwardness than genuine amusement. You're being spoken to at a comedy show and it's a nightmare. The comedian is speaking to you. I know, it's horrible, isn't it? You don't know how to respond. You look sort of shifty. Your boyfriend's rubbing you a little bit. It'll be fine. It'll stop soon. But will it stop soon? He doesn't know. He's not seen the show. Little nails up and down the upper arm. Disgusting thing to watch. But there we are. Yeah, I completely understand when you're at a comedy show, when the comedian is speaking to you, you're not enjoying it, you feel really put upon and awkward, and because of my empathy, I do understand what you're going through, but I won't stop, will I? Why won't I stop? I don't know. You weren't sold on the idea of empathy as the premise for a comedy routine, and here I am examining the idea of empathy through a live interaction with you, and I can tell what you're thinking right now. Because of my empathy, I can tell what you're thinking. What you're thinking is, oh my God, this is quite pretentious, but it isn't. Because the Latin root of the word pretentious is actually pretendo, which means to pretend. And I'm not pretending. I'm actually being deeply authentic. You were laughing, madam. I just couldn't find anybody who wasn't, sorry. I can empathize with everyone. I can empathize with those who are suffering and with those who cause suffering. I can empathize with everyone. The only people that I can't empathize with are my kids. I have no empathy for them whatsoever. Because just fucking eat, okay? Just eat. Why won't you eat? Please, will you eat? I'm not hungry, Daddy. Yeah, you fucking are, okay? Yeah, you are, because you haven't eaten, and I need you to eat, because I love you with this really prepossessing intensity that means I need you to be nourished and grow and prosper. So please, will you eat? Because you haven't. Please, will you eat? I've made the pasta as plain as I feasibly could, okay? I didn't even salt the fucking water. Do you understand that? So here it is, your pasta a la fuck all, okay? Maybe if you're feeling Mediterranean, I can squirt some ketchup on there, I don't know. But will you please just fucking... Oh my God. Oh my God. No way. Harvey Weinstein is on a Zimmer frame now. That must be so hard for him. Eat! So it's been a very difficult year for me in many ways. It's been my first year performing as an openly bi comedian, and I'm not. But prove it, you know, you can't prove it. You can't prove it. Even if you really wanted to prove it, you couldn't prove it. So I'm bi now, hi. A little bit of tension with a few of you in the room, I can see. That's fine. Who is the victim of this joke? I don't know, I can't wait to find out myself. I'll tell you something true, if that would put you at ease, audience. I'll tell you something true. I did come out as bi when I was 15 to my sister and to 2 of my friends. But from my heart, I can honestly tell you that I just did that for attention. The weird thing is that I'm the only person that's ever done that. Isn't that mad? How mad is that? Who is the victim of this joke? I'll tell you, it's one white woman that I know, okay? Don't know who's watched a lot of modern stand-up comedy by straight white men, but the white woman is the butt of a lot of jokes at the moment, and I think it's fabulous. I really do. I really love it. I enjoy it. I think it's very progressive. You know, finally, we're punching across. And I love it. White women, fucking... Because you're a white woman, aren't you? Yeah, so shut up. See what I mean? A huge laugh sweeps the room. What a wonderful butt of a joke to have. Fantastic. You know, that's how modern comedy works. Like, I hate women. Oh, what? No. I hate white women. Yes. You know, we found a new way to be misogynist, and I think it's pretty cool, okay? Okay, so those 2 jokes I've just done, those are quite good examples of what I do. All right? If you liked them, we'll have a wonderful time. I'm so sorry. What I do is I tell woke jokes in a non-woke way. There's no market for it. Slowly discovering there's no market for it. The right wing don't like me because of the jokes I make. The left wing don't like me because of the way I make them. This show is actually about one of the wokest jokes I ever told. But sadly, I did tell it in a proportionally unwoke way. And I got in a lot of trouble for that on the website Twitter, which we'll get into later on in the show. It's not the first time I got in trouble on Twitter either. The first time I got in trouble on Twitter was because I tweeted, as part of a larger conversation, but I tweeted that audiobooks aren't reading. That's all I said. And I promise you, the only reason why I said that is because they are not. That's not what reading is. Reading is something very different to that. Reading is something else entirely. I did not say, and was very careful not to say, that audiobooks are a less valid way to consume literature. All right? They are. But I didn't say that. I just said that audiobooks aren't reading. And what happened next is I got replies on that tweet from just like 200 or 300 members of the blind community. And they were all very upset with that tweet. They were writing underneath that tweet saying some things like, how dare you diminish my lived experience? Another one went, I was having such a nice day, and then I read this. And I went, well, you didn't read it. You had the audio description function on. And God bless that technology, okay? Another person responded to the tweet saying, why not just call it reading? Surely you acknowledge that language is a viral phenomenon. Words can change their meaning over time, owing to cultural context and common usage. Why not just call it reading if that makes a marginalized group of people who would prefer it to be that way happy? And I went, well, wow. That's a really big idea. Thank you so much for engaging civilly. I know it's not always the easiest thing to do on the internet. I wish I could respond in full, but I can't. I don't have time. I've got to go and pick my kids up from the abattoir. And he said, do you mean school? And I went, yeah, whatever. In October, half term of last year, 2023, so what, 11, 12, 13 months ago now, 14, I took my family to Center Parcs, and I was feeling a little bit grumpy. Now, me telling you that I was feeling grumpy is a guarded way of me telling you that I was suffering with depression. But I don't really like that phrase. It's quite an ornate phrase, isn't it? And it's also a tautology, isn't it? Suffering with depression. If I tell you that I'm suffering with depression, it suggests that in a different circumstance, I might be flourishing with depression. And I wasn't, I was suffering with it. Center Parcs is a bizarre place. I don't know if any of you have ever been. If you've not been to Center Parcs, then what Center Parcs is, it's a correction facility for the urban middle class who wish to go and experience nature, but do not wish for nature to experience them. It's a very expensive place as well. And I couldn't afford it. My mum actually had to help us pay for the trip, for reasons that I'll get into later, but she had to help us pay for the trip to Center Parcs. And the way in which she helped us pay was actually by paying the full amount. It really doesn't get much more helpful than that, does it? Or indeed more personally shameful. But my kids wanted to go, and I love my kids. And you'll be aware, if you have kids, then you'll be aware, like me, that your love for your children exists very presently in the foreground of your mind. It never leaves. It exists always in the very foreground of your brain. That's where your love for your children has to live. That's where my love for my children has to live. Otherwise, I would beat them. So much more regularly than I presently do. People say, oh, it's great loving your kids, like it's this fun thing that you do. Loving your kids isn't good or fun. It's an anxiety-ridden nightmare. This kind of palpable horror that exists in your gut 24/7, worrying about them. I hope they're not, I hope they're eating okay. I hope they're not sick. I hope they're gonna be good at school. I hope they're not bullying people. I hope they're not being bullied. I hope that global warming doesn't happen. I hope nuclear war, it's just awful. There's just no way that I can carry on loving them with this intensity into my 50s and 60s. I won't survive it. There's no way that my dad still loves me as much as he did when I was a cute little boy. He's read Middlemarch. He goes on holiday a couple of times a year. There's no way he could do that if he was still going, fuck, I hope Alfie isn't jaywalking. I was a big hand holder as a kid. And I remember, I've got this memory of like walking down the high street with my dad. And I looked up at him and I went, Daddy, at what age do I have to stop holding your hand? And he looked down at me and he said, I hope you're never too old to hold my hand. And he and I actually went on holiday together. The month before I took my family to Center Parcs, he and I went on holiday together for the first time, Ile de Ré, just off the coast of France, in September. We were in the harbour looking for an ice cream. And I sidled up beside him and I slid my hand into his and I said, how about now, you old bastard? And he went, what? And I went, well, about 30 years ago, it was a fucking waste of time, isn't it? I've waited 3 decades to do that, and great. I love my partner too, Jessie. My God, I love her so much. And you'll be aware if you're in a relationship, you have a partner, how your love for them, it grows and it develops over time. It molds itself to the different people that you both become throughout the course of your relationship. I would not use the phrase, I love her more and more every day. I think there are certainly some days on which I love her much less than I did the previous day. But I think, were you to plot it on a graph, it would trend upwards. We've got a lovely little routine at Center Parcs, a lovely little routine that we'd love to kind of hold. We go to the little coffee shop every morning. Do you know at Center Parcs? Little woodland coffee shop sort of thing. Gorgeous little woodland sort of coffee shop, sort of woodland sort of thing. Starbucks, it's called. We go there and Jessie will say to me, hey, why don't you order the kids some baby chinos? And I go, hey, why don't you order the kids some fucking baby chinos? Because as I said, I was feeling a little bit grumpy. But I have to tell you that even in my best moods, I really don't take too kindly to the baby chino. I actually hate baby chinos with a really kind of bizarre, ferocious intensity. I hate baby chinos. I hate saying baby chinos. I hate them conceptually. I hate everything about baby chinos. I hate baby chino, please, with my self-respecting 37-year-old man's mouth. Baby chino. Who is baby chino? Who is that word for, baby chino? Is that so you could market the drink to babies? Is the baby supposed to go, oh my God, finally, something for me? You know what's fewer syllables than baby chino? Warm milk. It doesn't even operate effectively as a neologism, okay? The word baby chino suggests that the word cappuccino can be split into two parts, capu and chino, which it can't. The word cappuccino is so called because the brown top, the chocolate top of the cappuccino resembles the brown smock of the Capuchin monk, okay? That's why a cappuccino is called a cappuccino, is because it looks like a Capuchin monk. A baby chino doesn't look anything like a baby. For a start, the top is bright white. So I would suggest perhaps deacon as a... That's better, isn't it? I'll give you all a moment to enjoy how funny that is if you'd like. Doesn't seem to have caught you immediately, but I'm sure with a moment's hesitation you go, oh yes, deacon, deaconinos. If you take the mental journey yourself, you'll be very pleased. Deaconinos, 4 deaconinos for the bambinos. It's a lovely, lovely... thing. That's how the word cappuccino works. It's capuch, Capuchin monk, and then ino, things that are small in Italian often carry the suffix ino. For example, pipistrello in Italian is bat, and it becomes pipistrellino, little bat, which is Italian that I carry from being a teenager trying to translate Ali G's Batty Boy into Italian. It was a different time, miss. It really was, I promise. Also, despite these things being nominally suggestive of being drunk by children, baristas seem intent on making these things at mind-altering, palate-destroying temperatures. So as soon as your toddler even comes into contact with the cardboard cup of a baby chino, it gets flung everywhere at the mad shock of the intense heat. A baby chino has never passed a toddler's lips. It just decorates the surrounding area. The only good reason to order a baby chino is if the floor is thirsty, and it never is. So no, Jessie, you order the baby chinos. And then she says, I feel like this isn't entirely about baby chinos. And I say, no, that's well observed, actually. We don't have a perfect relationship, Jessie and I. You know, we've opened and closed the relationship. We've broken up and gotten back together. Our relationship is beautiful because of those things, not despite them. In my, limited experience in this life, from what I can tell, beauty comes from life's imperfections. Beauty exists in the imperfection. Perfect things tend not to be beautiful. Like the album Rumours by Fleetwood Mac is a perfect album, but I hate it. I hate that album. I was putting my daughter to bed recently, and just as I had, finger on the switch, lights out, she calls out one last question. And she says, Daddy, why do we have to die? And I said, because if we didn't die, nothing would be beautiful. And she went, oh yeah, sorry. Sorry, Daddy, I've wasted your time there. Yeah. Yeah, obviously. Yeah. If we didn't die, nothing would be beautiful. Sorry, go and watch Slow Horses, Daddy. I'm a nightmare. Go on. Bye-bye. In January of that same year, last year, 9 months prior to Centre Parks, just to give you some idea of the chronology of where we're at, Jessie and I were in one of our broken up phases. I was doing exceptionally well professionally, and I was doing very poorly personally. I must stress how well I was doing professionally, though. I wasn't doing very well personally. I was drinking like a 1960s Madison Avenue advertising executive. And I have to tell you, it's really not as easy as Mad Men make it look. People say they don't like Game of Thrones because it's unrealistic. Game of Thrones is just a bit like unrealistic. So I can't really kind of buy into the world because it's just like, I don't get it. It's unrealistic. Yeah. But a group of men who drink scotch from the morning until night, every single day, and always look lean and fabulous, operating with an admirable mental clarity and achieving strikingly regular erections. To me, that makes Westeros look like a Pinter play, okay? We were in a bad way. I was letting everybody down. I was letting my friends down. I let my friend Josh down. I slept through an appointment that I was supposed to keep for my friend Josh. And I was hungover, missed it. And he texted me and he said, I hate you. One message, 3 words, I hate you. And I let Jessie down on the same day. And she sent me one message, 3 words. It's, I hate you. They both texted me, these 2 people that I love texted me, I hate you, on the same day. And they hadn't collaborated. I had inspired that in them as individuals. And I went to go and meet up with my friend Josh, and I said, I'm really sorry about the way I let you down. I don't want to be that guy. And he said, thank you for apologizing. I think the way that you let me down reminded me of the way that my parents used to let me down. And that brought back a lot for me. That's why I said, I hate you. And I said, well, you don't need to tell me that. That's very kind of you, thank you. I went to go and meet up with Jessie, and I said, I'm sorry about the way I let you down. I don't want to be like that. And she said, thank you for apologizing. You should know, the day before I text you, I hate you, I actually came on my period. And I went, right, well, thank you. All of this is starting to sound less and less like my fault, isn't it? Of course, it was my fault, wasn't it? I'm just saying there are other factors at play. During that time, she blocked me on my WhatsApps, my emails, and all forms of social media. And I told my friend Vaz about this, and he said, oh my God, the mother of your children blocked you on your WhatsApps, your emails, and all forms of social media. It's like going out with a 13-year-old. I left Vaz, and I went to go and meet up with my friend Chris. And when I was with my friend Chris, I told him what had happened, and he said, oh my God, the mother of your children blocked you on your WhatsApps, your emails, and all forms of social media. It's like going out with a 13-year-old. They both said 13. And they hadn't collaborated. My friend Vaz and my friend Chris both seem to have quite a strong working knowledge of what it's like to go out with a 13-year-old. I became obsessed during that time with a website called tattle.life. Not a great website. It's basically like Reddit, but the heading of each forum is a different celebrity or public figure's name. And everybody in the conversation talks about how much and why they hate that public figure. And there was one dedicated to Jessie. Jessie Cave, the mother of my children, who was a public figure in her own right, owing to her time spent performing on the Sky One sitcom Trolleyed. That really should get a little laugh there. I suppose the reason why you'd know that that was funny and something to laugh at is the idea that she's a public figure because of her time spent on the Sky One sitcom Trolleyed. Should be funny to you because you would know being on a Sky One sitcom is not why anyone is a public figure. Because famously, nobody's ever seen a Sky One sitcom, have they? Nobody's ever seen them, but yet they still make them. Why? It's almost spooky, isn't it? Why does the Sky One sitcom exist when nobody ever sees it? It's a very peculiar thing. It's like a philosophical mind game, isn't it? If somebody makes a sitcom in the woods and nobody watches, like, blah, 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 you know? It's a very interesting thing to kind of ponder, isn't it? Very, very interesting indeed. Like, if you needed to go into witness protection, sir, the safest place for you to be would be on a Sky One sitcom. I went on their website. I wanted to see what they'd written. Perhaps for the wrong reasons, I wanted to see what they'd written. And I found very quickly that these people had discovered a much more fertile soil in which to plant the seeds of their hatred. And that soil, it was me. They hated me so much. And I read every word they had to write about me. All these people writing, shit dad, ugly, adolescent man-child. You read all that and go like, fucking, I'm not ugly. Am I? I'm not ugly, am I? Am I? I'm not ugly, am I? I'm fucking not. I'm not saying, look at me, I'm great looking. I'm just saying I'm not ugly. Like, ugly is a strong word, isn't it? I'm not ugly. I'm not ugly, am I? I don't know. It just made me lose faith in the other things they were saying, I guess. Poundland Russell Brand. That was another one. What is that? What is a Poundland Russell Brand? What is it to Poundlandify Russell Brand? Would that mean that I've committed more or fewer sex crimes? What would a Poundlandification of him be? I don't know if you remember, like, that time last year, but he was spending a lot of time... it's before the Dispatches documentary that they said this about me, just to be clear. And we all knew what was going to come out about Russell Brand, and so did Russell, and that's why he made a lot of friends in the American right-wing free speech movement. People like Tucker Carlson and Ben Shapiro became his friends, and he befriended them because he knew when he finally did get cancelled, not cancelled, like arrested. Should be a different word for him, shouldn't it? Should be. But it's not. He knew that when he finally did get arrested, then he could go, you see, it's the mainstream media elite suppression of the emancipatory capacity of free speech for the working man. And the working man free speech, emancipatory capacity offsets free speech suppressed by the mainstream media elite. In his gorgeous voice that I, of course, only have a Poundland version of myself. During this time period, I asked to meet up with Jesse using one of my subsidiary email addresses. I asked for a place and I asked for a time to meet up, and she said yeah. She gave me both. The time that she gave me was actually half an hour into that day's Liverpool-Man United fixture. But I chose not to bring that up, and I thought that showed a great deal of progress, actually. We met up, and I said, listen, I don't like who I am, really, at the moment. I don't like the way I'm being. I'm really struggling, and I'm sad, and I miss you, and I don't want to stand here in front of you and do that cliche of a man going, oh, poor me, I'm so bad, I'm so awful as a man. you know, you're also a nightmare. And you also have to change a great deal if this is going to work. But I do want that for us. I do want us to change. I love you so much, and I miss you, and I miss the kids, and I really just want us to be a family again. And she said, I want that too. Yeah, sure. Could anybody identify that chant? Well, it sounded like we hate Chelsea and we hate Chelsea, but it seems incongruous for the toilet of a Manchester venue. Well, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to place yourself back in that tension again. If anything, this routine is so much more contingent upon the development of tension than the last one. So we keep our fingers crossed that you find it amusing. I mean, there's a little pocket of audience here that haven't found anything amusing, so why would they? But I'm more relying on the Alfie Brown ultras over there. And there's a row of you over there as well, but a lot of cameras over there catching the disdain from this area. Yeah, that was so funny. I really like you, but in an antagonistic way. I feel like you're the Jets and I'm the... You see my side story? Sorry? Would you say it's fine? It's a fucking work of genius, mate. Anyway. West Side Story's fine. Fucking hard. The spiel, but anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't want to get bogged down in... Anyway, they sounded like they were having fun. There's no other way to do this, sorry. I miss you. It's amazing how insincere it is when I do it like this, isn't it? Just acting, aren't I? Just acting. I'm just an actor. It's like a script and I've learned it. But I can still... I've not touched you, I'll touch you. You're a man. There are rules. I really... Watch this. I miss you, and I miss them, and I just want us to be a family again. And she said, I want that too. And I lost a lot of respect for her then. Come on, you surely remember who I am, don't you? You're gonna make that mistake. Are you fucking serious? Think about it. Think about this. I'm a shit dad. I'm ugly. I'm an adolescent man-child. And she gave me a kiss on the cheek and she said, you're not a shit dad. I don't know. I could be. I have no idea. I could be a shit dad. It's in my interest to believe that I'm not a shit dad. So I believe that. But you should be quite skeptical of things that it's in your interest to believe. I never wanted kids. Never wanted kids. But then I never wanted Mo Salah to join Liverpool, so... I don't know what's best for my happiness, I suppose is the point I'm making there. And now I think back and just, wow, how naive was I, you know? Nowadays, I love Mo Salah so much. I bore all my friends to death talking about Mo Salah the whole time. I'll be in the pub and everybody just wants to get on with having a pint and I'm showing them pictures of Mo Salah. Look at Mo Salah! Salah there. Look at Mo Salah. He scores so many goals, you know. He scores so many goals. I only ever wanted a dog. That's all I ever wanted. Still want a dog. We're in family negotiations about it at the moment. I want to get a giant schnauzer. I've always wanted a giant schnauzer. And Jessie doesn't want to get a giant schnauzer because she's worried if we get a giant schnauzer, it's obviously it's big dog, it's giant. And it's a German police dog. And she's worried that if we get a giant schnauzer, it will kill her and the kids. And it's an awkward conversation to have with your partner, to say to her, baby, come on. Statistically, I am so much more likely to kill you. Than a giant schnauzer, okay? If anything, you should get the schnauzer to protect you from me. One of my things that I was most excited about doing at Center Parcs, one of the things that I was really, really keen on doing was I wanted to teach my son how to ride a bike. That's a big father-son moment. It's deeply symbolic. Love it. I've still got photos of my dad teaching me how to ride a bike with his fist clenched underneath the bike seat as I struggle to find my center of gravity, and then he thrusts me forward like a curler, knowing my trajectory is true. Beautiful and deeply symbolic father-son moment that I wanted for me and my son. We went down to the bike rental center. He looked at all the bikes and started trying them for which size was best, getting on and off each bike. And eventually, he got onto a bike that was the right size, and he just started fucking riding it. Fucking get back here and fall off now! Have you been seeing other dads behind my back? Who am I if you don't wobble? Later that day, we went to the main attraction of Center Parcs, the subtropical swimming paradise. I don't know if anybody here ever been, but you'll know, if you've been like me, there is a little bit of a distance, isn't there, between the name of the subtropical swimming paradise and the reality of the subtropical swimming paradise. To an extent I've not really seen since the Democratic People's Republic of North Korea. Yes, it's swimming. Yes, it's North Korea. I'm really not sure about those other words, though, okay? I was feeling exceptionally grumpy this day, and Jessie, she's very perspicacious, very good. And she saw me, and she went, listen, why don't you just go and take yourself alone for a bit, clear your head, try and pull yourself, together a bit, and you'll be all right. I said, thank you. She took the kids to go and watch some cartoons in a cabana, and I pulled the deck chair to the side of the wave pool underneath the sort of atrium of the subtropical swimming paradise. And an old man came to sit down next to me, and he looked a lot like Dennis Norden from the ITV bloopers show, It'll Be All Right on the Night. From the 90s, you wouldn't know what it was, but it was like weather people fucking up. And then it'd cut back to him in the studio, and he'd have a clipboard, and he'd say, and that is what we call, in show business, a little bit of a cock-up. And you can hear from that applause over there that that's actually quite a strong impression. It wasn't him, anyway. He said to me, you all right? And I went, no, I'm feeling a bit grumpy. And he said, oh, why is that? And I realized I shouldn't have been honest, so I decided to be vague. And I said, oh, I lost my job. And he said, oh, what did you do? And I went, oh, I'm self-employed. And he went, what? what the fuck are you talking about? Sorry. And I went, it's not like that. It's not like I wasn't sacked. I'm a stand-up comedian and I was cancelled. And he said, oh, and what does that mean? And I said, well, it depends who you ask. If you ask somebody on the left wing, then cancellation is a way of framing a bad person who's done a bad thing and is finally suffering consequences as a victim. And they'll be fine, nothing really happens to them. And if you ask somebody on the right wing, then cancellation is a cruel and unnuanced way of publicly destroying somebody who's displayed some human fallibility or shared an opinion outside the acceptable consensus. And it's devastating and they won't be okay. And the old man said, oh, and who's right? And I said, well, they've both been right and now they think they're always right. And he said, wow, and what happened to you? And I went, well, I was doing a show, working up material for a tour that I was going to be performing that autumn. The preview I was doing for this show was in March. I'd just gotten back together with my partner, the mother of my children, 7 months prior to Centre Parks, to place you in the correct chronology. I was doing a show and I didn't have too much material, so I did a bit of crowd work. The conversation with the crowd moved on to politics, and I made the off-the-cuff joke that I tell the room tonight for narrative purposes, and not because I think it is particularly brilliant. I said, I'm what people on the hard left call a centrist, which means that I'm also left-wing, but I don't hate Jews. Even when set up like that, the joke usually does get more, but whatever. A woman at the back said, oh, I'm so sick of this shit. And I went, oh dear, what do you mean? And she said, well, I'm Jewish, and I don't think Jeremy Corbyn's an anti-Semite. And I said, well, first of all, well done for deducing my interior meaning. And second of all, I'm a non-Jew, and I don't really think it would be okay for me to argue with you about what constitutes anti-Semitism. I don't think that would be the right thing for me to do, no matter what I might believe. And that's something we have to be, just to put a pin in the show for a second, that's something we have to be deeply aware of as comics. What opinions are we entitled to hold? Given our own lived experiences, what do our lived experiences mean that we have the right to talk about? It's an even bigger deal for people like screenwriters, playwrights, novelists, people who author characters. Do they have the right to author these characters if then they don't share the lived experience of the character that they're authoring? It's a big idea in art at the moment, and it's something I try to be deeply sensitive of in my new sitcom, which is obviously about a 37-year-old straight white father of 4. And he lives with his partner, who is the most incredible 37-year-old straight white father of 4. But it's not all going his own way, because he's got this kind of boss, quite overbearing and surly, sort of 37-year-old straight white father of 4. But it's all worth it at the end of the day, because he gets to go home to his 4 kids, who he loves, who are all the most amazing 37-year-old straight white fathers of 4. Or art, I suppose, or art. The next day, the woman from the gig, she gave a rather heroic retelling of our encounter on Twitter. And she wrote about her experience at the show, quite bold terms. And I decided to quote tweet that tweet and give a response and get into a little bit of Twitter, an altercation with her, because Twitter altercations I'd seen, they were quite a good way of selling tickets for one's tour that autumn. That is what we call in storytelling a little did he know moment. What I tweeted was, I said, the reason why I speak more about Jeremy Corbyn's racism than I do about Nigel Farage or Boris Johnson's is because I feel like comedy possesses other staff members who cover Farage and Johnson fairly adequately. But the political moral crusaders in comedy seem to leave Jeremy Corbyn well alone. So I've decided to take it upon myself to highlight some of the things that he's done, said, ways he's behaved, etc. What happened next was the Corbyn fans found that tweet. Do you remember Corbyn fans from about 5 years ago? They've been replaced in the zeitgeist by Swifties. But they're very, very similar people. If you take issue with their chosen icon, they will try and destroy your entire life. They're kind of demented. It's not the same like phenomenon necessarily. It's not exactly. It's not a new phenomenon. You've had this for years. People who offer vulnerable people easy answers about the way that their life isn't the way that they'd like it. You know, homelessness is bad. Brilliant. For Taylor Swift, it would be like she sings, "I had a breakup and it wasn't my fault." And everybody goes, "Fuck." Yeah, me too, actually. That's bizarre. I'm also not to blame for any of my breakups. Adele got big off the same thing, star signs, ISIS. They all operate in a very... I'm not saying ISIS are as bad as Corbyn and Taylor Swift. I'm just saying that... I got that the wrong way around for comedic purposes. The Corbyn fans found it and they weren't happy. They didn't like that and they didn't take it very well. They decided to excavate my entire online back catalogue to see if they could find any clips of mine where I would say something that might invalidate my opinion on Jeremy Corbyn. And to their credit... They found a routine of mine from 10 years ago, filmed 8 years ago. The joke was from 10 years ago, which was an aspirationally anti-racist routine that turned out to be a racist routine. It was about the Western liberal hypocrisy, the idea that we don't like or are very offended by the certain racial epithet with its origin in slavery. We find that deeply offensive because of its connection to slavery and how ashamed we are of slavery itself. But we all of us have smartphones, or I would say most of us, with coltan inside, mined by slaves in the Democratic Republic of Congo. So words with their origins in slavery know, but slavery is... yes, good. So that hypocrisy, back in that time, I decided to highlight the shock of this hypocrisy, and to highlight the shock of this hypocrisy, I used the N-word. Yeah, I am reluctant to say too many times. As I feel like that would communicate to you that I think that there is an appropriate number of times for me to use the N-word. And if this experience has taught me anything, it's that there is not an appropriate number of times for me to use the N-word. The clip got shared thousands of times. It got over 2 million views. I'd never had a stand-up clip go viral before. It wasn't quite how I imagined it, actually. It was awful. Everybody was sharing it. I didn't know how anybody felt. I was alone. I was in a hotel room in Belgium, quaking, feeling like the whole fabric of my reality was disintegrating in front of me. And more than anything, I was ashamed of myself. Absolutely ashamed of myself. They found 2 other routines of mine. One was about the age of consent. One was about the Grenfell Tower disaster. Now, those are both good bits. I back those. If you don't like them, that's on you. It's your fault for being stupid, I think. The thing about this is, what we're doing now is we have a dual responsibility, don't we? It's my responsibility to be able to effectively communicate meaning, and your responsibility to be able to infer it. And if you don't get those 2 bits, I think it's on you. I did my bit. I don't care. They also found out who my mum is, Jan Ravens from BBC Radio 4 Comedy, Dead Ringers. Thank you very much. That's, of course, how she was able to afford our trip to Centre Parks. She's got all that Radio 4 money knocking about. You know what they're like at Radio 4 these days? Awful people. Fucking, oh, yay! Fucking Radio 4, who fucking wants some? Radio 4, on the Radio 4. Maybe that's what those lads were from outside. The Radio 4 Christmas party. Oi, Rachel! We love loose ends and we love loose ends. She actually wired me the money from BBC Radio 4 HQ in Monte Carlo while Giles Brandreth snorted a line of coke off her neck. And the fact that my mum is Jan Ravens from BBC Radio 4 Comedy, of course, that makes me a Nepo baby, doesn't it? It does. It makes me a Nepo baby. And that, I'm not sure if you know about Nepo babies, but in the modern cultural realm, that puts me on a similar reputational level to Dr. Harold Shipman. And I agree with you. I hate Nepo babies. I hate every single Nepo baby. I hate Bill Oddie's daughter, Rosie Oddie, despite how pleasant and intelligent she is every time I meet her. And I vow not to give her any respect until she dedicates herself to pursuing a career that is well outside the area of interest that she's been exposed to for her entire life. I don't know Maud Apatow, but I hate her. I hate Mark Steele's son, Elliot Steele, despite the fact that I like him and he's one of my friends. I hate Mary Shelley. I think Frankenstein's shit. I hate all plumbers and butchers. They can get lost as well. I hate Lenny Bruce, and I hate Oscar Wilde. I hate Pericles, loads, by the way. I hate all the sports people, Erling Haaland, Xabi Alonso, Frank Lampard, who I do actually hate. Steph Curry, Rafael Nadal, and Stuart Broad. And I'll tell you one thing for free, okay? I'll tell you one thing absolutely for free. You know who isn't a Nepo baby? It's Dr. Harold Shipman. He grew up on a council estate, and his dad was a lorry driver. And he became a doctor. Wow. Here's thinking of you, Harry. The people on the internet were writing all these sorts of things about me, calling me like a racist, paedophile, Nepo baby. You read all that and go, I'm not ugly. We started writing an apology together. Me, my director, and my friend, Adam, we'd worked together for years, and me and my manager, Chris, also worked together for years. These people were working with me when I filmed the clip that went out, so I knew that we were in this together. And I felt bad for putting them in this situation, so I wanted to do whatever it was they said was the right thing. We decided we were going to write an apology and tweet it. We were going to go the Twitter apology route. My manager, Chris, was very keen to add audio description to the tweet. Great. They'll love that, won't they? We put out the apology and nobody really cared. Nobody liked it. Nobody bought it, I should say. People wrote underneath the apology on Twitter saying things like, "You're only apologizing because you got caught." Yeah. Yeah. Who apologizes when they haven't been caught? I go, "Hey, I'm really, really sorry." "Oh, why is that?" "You'll see." A particularly keen member of the Corbyn Twitter community called @RedCollective was busy calling up all of my tour venues and asking them to remove me from their autumn scheduling. Many of them duly obliged. I lost a lot of TV work, thousands of, pounds worth. All my future earnings were falling away into nothing. My one thread connecting me to my career at that point was my run that autumn at London's Soho Theatre, where I'd performed for many years. And my friend Adam is also an associate director at the Soho Theatre. So it was in on the meeting when they were talking about what they were going to do. And at that meeting, it was decided that because the head of comedy at the Soho Theatre had seen my show in Edinburgh in 2014, when I made that joke with that offensive language in it, and then off the strength of seeing that show, seeing no fault with it at the time, giving it a run at London Soho Theatre, and off the strength of that show, co-producing my show the following year in Edinburgh, because they were complicit in the show's initial airing, they thought they were in no position to cancel the show. Well, that made me feel a lot better. The next day I had a meeting with my manager. We met in the pub. We both wept. He told me that this had catalysed the end of our working relationship, and that whilst he'd helped me through this difficult moment, I was being dropped, basically. And the important thing is not how I feel about that. The important thing is that I've written and toured a show throughout the United Kingdom that I'm now filming, and he isn't. So now I'm going to spend the next 5 minutes destroying his character. And you are going to absolutely love it. And I'll tell you how I know that you're absolutely going to love it is because you loved it when James Acaster did it. In his show 1999 Cold Lasagna Hate Myself, he destroys the character of his ex-manager for, a period of time, and the audience loves it. And he gets 5 stars in The Guardian, so the cultural precedent has been set. That's an appropriate way for me to behave. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to destroy the character of my ex-manager, and you are going to love it, okay? I'm not going to tell you about the time that he made me sweet potato fries and helped me with an audition tape at his flat after office hours because he really wanted me to get a part. I'm not going to tell you about the time that he learned Photoshop so he could save all of his clients' money on Edinburgh poster design. I'm not going to tell you about the time that he mopped sick off the side of my cheek and stayed with me in a park till 2 a.m. because he didn't want me going home drunk to Jessie and getting in trouble. I'm not going to tell you about how fantastic it felt when he'd recite one of my routines word for word to a New York comedy producer at a showcase we were doing in Greenwich Village because he really wanted me to work with the best people, because he really, really believed in me. I'm not going to tell you that I miss him. I'm just going to fucking butcher him. And you're going to love it, because you loved it when James Acaster did it. You loved it. You loved it. You loved it so much that you decided to pay him and Ed Gamble footballers' wages for talking to Ray Winston about falafel. Just for the record, I think that James Acaster is mostly brilliant, and the Off Menu podcast, I, of course, have never listened to. The next day, after that meeting, I was due to fly to Australia, where the first ever cancelled people went. I wasn't even sure if the Melbourne Comedy Festival would honour my booking, but they did, and I was glad about that. I felt so nervous being there. All the other comics that had flown over from the UK, I wasn't sure who still liked me. I'd be walking around Melbourne and see, Chloe Petts out for a jog, and I would hide behind a tree because I wasn't sure how they felt about me now. I was just terrified. My friend Adam, my director, remember, he bought me tickets to go and watch the Melbourne Grand Prix while I was there. He just surprised me with them, sent me off to go and watch the Melbourne Grand Prix as a surprise, just to cheer me up, really. And it really, really worked. And the next day after the Melbourne Grand Prix, he had a stroke and fell into a coma, which really undid a lot of the good work the Melbourne Grand Prix had done. For the next month, I was a little bit of a mess. I couldn't think about anything. I did a show that must have been awful. I can't remember it. And almost a month to the day that he had his stroke, he died in his coma. And I was doing a showcase show that night in Sydney. Lots of other comics on at this gala. I was blubbing, not crying, like not dignity crying, blubbing. And I wasn't sure if I'd be able to go on. And a wonderful comic who I really, really like, called Lucy Bloom, was there. She's so great. And what you should also know about Lucy Bloom is that she's walking at about 6'1", and she mentions on stage quite frequently, amongst many other wonderful things that she mentions, but she does mention quite frequently the size of her not inconsiderable breasts. So she offered me the hug, and I accepted the hug. And I put my head on the shelf. And I think when somebody dies, it's the implausibility of the death that gets you. Like, I just don't buy it. I don't buy that he's gone. I just struggle to really believe that. How could you really reconcile yourself to a reality in which this love now has nowhere to go? Something short circuits in your brain and all it knows how to do is cry. I can't bear it. And it's coming out in this chaos of feeling. And I'm crying, thinking all of this. And at the same time I'm thinking all of this and crying, I think, no, these are massive, actually. Because there's no respite from that, at least not for me. Very shortly after that, I went home. I couldn't deal with the end of my Australian run. I'd cut it short, cost me more money. And I went back, and I had a meeting. They called me in, the Soho Theatre. And the head of comedy at the Soho Theatre and an associate at the Soho Theatre took me in for a meeting. They wanted to know what the deal was. I accepted the meeting, I met up with them. The associate from the Soho Theatre is also, you should know, a former member of the sketch group Late Night Gimp Fight. I don't know if anybody here has ever been moralised at by a former member of the sketch group Late Night Gimp Fight. But I'm here to tell you, it is the very depth of ignominy. I've recently had the chance to rank my ignominies by depth. This was the deepest one. He said to me, listen, we've obviously got your show program for the autumn. We just want to know about what it contains. Like, what are the themes? What do you speak about? I said, my new show is just me doing my N-word routine in a variety of different accents. And to their credit, they both laughed. Despite what they might tell you now, they both laughed. The former member of Late Night Gimp Fight mused. And he said, do you regret that routine that you did all that time ago? Do you regret the things you said in that routine all those years ago? And I said, yeah, of course I do. I deeply, deeply regret it. Not just for the ramifications it's had for me personally. I regret it on a moral level. I think I was naive and entitled, and I'm embarrassed by it, and I would never do that again, and I regret it deeply. I said, do you regret being in the sketch group Late Night Gimp Fight? But he didn't answer. He just said, my father-in-law is actually black, and that word you used is a bit of a red line for him. And I went, well, that's the sort of thing that makes me feel sick. I can't bear that. I can't comprehend it, really. I I want to talk to him. I want to try and explain to him and apologize to him and say I was naive, but my intention was naively good. I felt like I was being righteous, but I know now that I wasn't. But he has every right not to want to hear a word I've got to say, and I've just got to deal with that. I would also say it's a good thing that your father-in-law isn't the one who decides whether or not my Soho run goes ahead. That's not how the justice system does, nor how it should work. If there's been a murder, we don't ask the most upset member of the victim's family to do the sentencing. And he said, I disagree. And I said, but you can't disagree. I haven't said anything that it's possible for somebody to disagree with. It would be like disagreeing with which direction up is in. I said, do you remember that sketch that you used to do when you were in your sketch group, Late Night Gimp Fight? Where you used to take out your men's genitalia from your clothes, so it was sort of exclusively naked amongst your person. And then when your men's genitalia was exposed, you would clamber amongst the audience and put your men's genitalia in the personal space of the assembled audience. Because that's actually a bit of a red line for my mum. He said, are you working with a director this year? And I went, no, I'm not working with a director this year. And the question struck me as a slightly naive and insensitive. His colleague and my friend, Adam, had very recently died, and he'd directed all of my shows up until that point. I said, no, I'm not working with a director. He said, have you considered working with your friend Jamali? And I said, no, I'd not considered working with my friend Jamali. I suppose because he's never directed anything before or shown any interest in directing anything before, and because whilst he's one of the kind of greatest stand-ups that you can have the pleasure of watching live, I think his greatness is in his presence, his being in the moment, quality. It makes him an electric performer to watch, but also makes him somebody that might not be the best suited to the directing of comedy. I think what you've done is, you know that I have a black friend. And you think it would be easier to sell the idea of me performing at your venue to your disgruntled front of house staff if I was being directed by a person of colour. And I think the tokenizing of his ethnicity like that could be seen by some to be quite racist. And he said, I didn't mean it like that. And I said, it's okay, you misspoke. I forgive you. They cancelled that show. They cancelled the run. But it did free up a week in October when I was able to take my family to Centre Parks. Albeit I was feeling a little bit grumpy. And then the old man next to me said, and that is what we call in show business, a little bit of a cock-up. I lost about what I would earn in a year, I suppose, which is a lot of money to anybody who loses what they would earn in a year. It's devastating for your, day-to-day life and your dignity. I made a little bit back. I opened for my friend Adam Rowe on tour, and that, managed to alleviate some of the damage, but it was still fucked. I did get offers. I can't pretend I didn't get offers. I got offered to work. I really can't pretend I didn't get offers, okay? I got offered to appear on all of the biggest right-wing podcasts going. I don't think there's a single one of them I didn't get an email from. Millions and millions of listeners. I could be recording this in the fucking Apollo right now. Do you understand that? But I'm not. I didn't take any of that. I got offered to go on GB News, didn't take it. Got offered to do the free speech comedy night, Comedy Unleashed. Rawr, didn't take it. I didn't take any of that. I didn't take any of that work. And do you know what? I do want a pat on the back for that, actually. I want a fucking big pat on the back. From you. Because I chose you. You going for a piss during a recorded show, having to stand at the back when you've been told explicitly, do no wheeze. You have an adult bladder, control yourself. This is what I chose. This is what I wished for when I made that decision, okay? I chose you because can you imagine the ramifications if right-wing comedy had somebody as good as me on their team? They wouldn't know what to do. I made my mum so worried during that time. It's an awful thing, really guilt-inducing thing to make your mum worry so much. She would call me up so frequently. Alfie, I'm worried about you. Alfie, you okay? She rang me up once and she went, Alfie, I'm scared. You okay? She said, Alfie, can I ask, have you thought about killing yourself? But she got her intonation wrong. She made it sound like a suggestion. Hey, Alfie, just a quick one from me today. Yes, you're all right. Yeah, no, good. Yeah, fabulous. Okay, yeah. No, I was just thinking, anyway, that, like, have you thought about killing yourself? Well, no. Well, well, let me get a word in. No, because it just struck me that it would be an end to all of your pain. That's all. Okay, well, no bad ideas in brainstorming anyway. Okay, bye. I love you. Bye. I'll see you on Sunday, probably. Bye. I am sorry, by the way, for the routine that I did, 8-10 years ago. I am sorry. I think sorry, fuck. It's such an exhausted word, isn't it? Sorry. Like, I knock your drink. Sorry. I bump into you. Sorry. Said the N-word. Sorry. Same word for all those jobs, you know? Doesn't feel right. I think if you're gonna be sorry and truly mean it, you should think about what the word sorry is, what it is to apologize. If I apologize, like, am I my sorry? Do I exist in the state of sorry itself? And if I exist in the state of sorry itself, am I sorry in perpetuity? Or am I one day allowed to let it go? And if my apology is something that I give to you and you receive it, is that better? If you're gonna be sorry, then you should know what you're being sorry for. Am I sorry I said the N-word? Yeah. Hardly feels like enough either. You should be acute, precise with your apology, so it means more. And what I am sorry for is that I was reckless with words that have been used to hurt people. I was careless with that, and I enjoyed the transgression. And for that, I can say I am deeply sorry. And now I am an unapologetic comedian who has apologized, and I don't really know where that leaves me. It's not the thing that I'm most sorry for in my life. It's the thing I got in trouble most for, but it's not the thing I'm most sorry for. The thing I'm most sorry for was maybe about 5 years ago. I was doing a comedy night in central London called Old Rope. And I was on the bill. My friend Adam, my director Adam, had come along to take notes, but just to hang out, really. And there, Alan Carr was on the bill, and I love Alan Carr as a comic and a bloke, great fun. And I said to Alan, look, do you want to come and have a drink with us afterwards? And he said, yeah. So it's me, Alan Carr, and Adam all having a drink together afterwards. And Alan Carr said, about 15 minutes into the chat, he chimes in and he goes, I officiated Adele's wedding. And we hadn't asked. It seems to be a social tic that he has. Every now and again, he will just say that out of the blue. I officiated Adele's wedding. No, sorry, sir. What's your sort code? It was me, Alan Carr, and Adam all having a drink afterwards. He said that, and as soon as he said, I officiated Adele's wedding, I chimed in and said, oh, my best friend Vaz asked me to officiate his wedding. And as soon as I said, best friend Vaz, Adam bristled. He went, oh, steady on, mate. He didn't like the idea of me calling somebody else my best friend. He'd never displayed vulnerability like that to me before. And I was so moved by it and so nervous. And immediately I got like flushed with embarrassment. My knees went weak. I got a knot in my stomach. My face went all red. I didn't know what to do. And I wanted to grab him by the face and go, no, 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 no. You are my best friend. I love you. I love you so much. Like, best friend at this age isn't just somebody. Like, it doesn't have to be one person. It can be just somebody that you have this is a deeply romantic friendship. This is a really special thing. I really love you. I would suffer for you, and I'm so proud, not just to be your friend, but to be the kind of person that you want to be friends with. I love you. You're my best friend. But I didn't say any of that. And I'm more sorry for that. And if I had said that, then maybe Alan Carr could have officiated some sort of friendship wedding for us. He could have said, do you, Alfie, take Adam in sickness and in health? And I would have said, I do. And even though Adam died on April the 29th, 2023, our marriage still would have lasted longer than Adele's. It's hard for me to say, like, what I've been through should matter to you in any way. It feels like a good show, doesn't it? It's current, because I say the word cancel in it a lot. Does that feel like current? You can discuss this afterwards. What did you think? But, you know, cancel isn't a new phenomenon. It's just a new word for an age-old thing. Loads of people have been getting cancelled throughout history, you know. Galileo, he was cancelled because he said the world was round, and everybody went, shut the fuck up. Jesus, probably the most famous and arguably sort of cancellations patient zero. You know, if I look at what happened to Jesus, I can only reflect that I've gotten off rather lightly myself. Although he did get to come back after 3 days. I had to wait a little bit longer. It's just a story to be told, really. So I just tell you the story and you can do with it whatever you want. So here's the end of the story. On January the 29th of this year, 2024, the doctors told me that my father was about to die. And then on February the 2nd of this year, he died. So they nailed that. I phrased that in a funny way so you'd laugh. Don't feel bad. They called us in. They called us in on February the 2nd and they went, listen, we just want to let you know it's today. We think it might be happening today. Me and his wife, my stepmom, Deb, we went in together at his bedside. He didn't like to display vulnerability either. And as soon as Deb left the room, he shot eyes at me and went, do they think I've had it? And I went, no, I just think you've got shit lungs. And you had shit lungs last week, you'll have shit lungs next week. It's a whole shit lung thing. India have been put into bat. They're 179 for 3. Let's focus on that, you know? But very quickly, the pain of his shallow breathing became too much for him to bear, and they put morphine in him, and he died over the next 6 hours. And I stood by his side the whole time. I was holding his hand, so I never was too old to hold his hand. And about 2 p.m. he died. And I didn't know I was going to do this. Instinct takes you, I guess. And I got into the hospital bed with him, just moments after his death. And I lay my head on his chest. I'm 37, I haven't had my head on his chest for years. But I put my head on his chest, and immediately the feeling of his chest, like my ear remembered it. My ear remembered exactly how it felt. But oh yeah, it felt exactly the same as how when I used to rest my head on his chest when I was a kid, when he'd read us Tintin as a bedtime story. And I put my head on his chest, and I remember keeping it there for 10, 15 minutes on his body, going, oh, Dad. Oh, Dad. You know Lucy Bloom? About 10 minutes later, Steve Coogan walked in. Do you remember? I'm a Nepo baby. You jealous? I wept with Steve Coogan over our grief. You jealous? We were the only two people left there for some reason. I don't know why. Everybody else kind of got off, but I didn't want to leave. I knew he was going to be late. I don't know. I said to the nurse, do we have to go? Like, can I stay for a bit? I don't want to leave yet. I know he's gone, but I don't want to. Can we stay for a little bit longer? And she said, yes, of course. You can stay for a bit if you want. In about an hour, we're going to get him cleaned up, and then we're going to take him down to the morgue. And you can't come down to the morgue with us. And I said, yeah, of course. Especially not with a bloke who's just been playing Jimmy Savile. You know what question I never want to get asked ever again is there anything you wouldn't joke about? Quite clearly not, no. There is nothing that I wouldn't joke about. And we immediately need to disabuse ourselves of this idea that by joking about something, I'm not respecting it, or I'm not taking it seriously, or that I'm being frivolous about something. That's wholly false. The joke is just a prism for the idea to move through. And if we're going to think that stand-up comedy can be art, which I would love to, by the way, and if we're going to accept the idea that art is here to change the atmosphere of our lives by giving us perspective on what humans and nature are capable of, how we intersect, and the very essence of what it is to being a human who exists, then we're going to have to allow for the idea that it goes into some uncomfortable and difficult to navigate places. And it might make you feel uncomfortable sometimes, and that's okay. You just can get over it, okay? And then beyond that, we might fuck it up if we're trying to do this. We might fuck it up. If this is going to be any good at all, we have to be allowed to fail. We have to be. And my dad, he came to see a work in progress of this show in August of last year, 2023. And he actually preferred that version of it because he was alive in it. And he said, you know that joke that you do where you say, there's no way that my dad still loves me as much as he did when I was a little boy? He said, I do. I still love you just as much as I did when you were a little boy. I never stop loving you that much. I'll always love you that much. It just gets easier to deal with. You know, you learn how to live with that intensity of feeling. So don't worry. Be okay, son. And that is like grief, I suppose, or I hope. Grief is like it doesn't leave you, you just hopefully learn how to deal with it. And grief is like a pinched hose. The love that once passed so freely through now ruptures the membrane that contains it. You know, grief is kind of proof it was worth it. And now you've got to parent your own kids in the context of your own grief, and the love that you have for them feels suddenly so much more fragile, like it could go somewhere. You're unable to kind of rest in this love because it feels frantic and urgent. I love you. I put my kids to bed the other night. I said, I really love you, okay? Okay. Question mark. I asked my kids permission to love them. How, what? What? I really love you, okay? Is that okay? Is that okay that I really love you? Is it okay that I do the thing that is the reason why we exist towards you? Is that okay? Is that okay? Is it okay that I resent your mum for the size of our family and that I've been robbed of my ideal of a close-knit family unit and that I now run a creche? Is that okay? Is it okay that on our walks to school in the morning, I just need you to shut the fuck up for 5 minutes because there's only so many times I can be asked what my favourite animal is and only so many times I can answer poison dart frog? You have all these intrusive grief fantasies. What would I do if my son was sick? What would I do if he was sick and there was no cure and he was in pain every day? What in that situation would my love compel me to do? And I would kill that little boy because the circumstances would be right. It's amazing what your love can compel you to do in certain situations. It's It's really remarkable. Like, it's not... Sometimes it can make you fuck up a little bit, be over-enthusiastic, go too far. But sometimes your love can compel you to be selfless and generous and act in the interest of others despite yourself in a way that you never thought possible. And it's that kind of love that is the reason why... It's the reason why, at the end of this tour, I've actually rebooked to take the family to Centre Parks again. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. I really appreciate it. Have a good evening and rest of your lives, and thank you so much for coming to this. That was really special. Thank you very much. Good night. Bye-bye.
Love is better than ice cream with the strawberry jelly underneath. Love is better than chocolate, and it's slightly better for your teeth. Love is better than fun fairs. It's a ride where you never touch the ground. Love is better than Christmas, and it's every day the whole year round. Never give up on love. Never give up on love. Never give up on love. It's what you need, and it's very nice indeed. Never give up on love. Love is better than money. When you give it away, you get it back. Love is better than sunshine. There's no living if that's the thing you lack. Love is better than Netflix. It's a show you watch over and again. Love is better than top marks. It's a great big 11 out of 10. Never give up on love. No, no, never give up on love. No, no, never give up on what you need the most. It's a honey on your toast. Never give up on love. Never give up on love. No, no, never give up on love. No, no, never give up on finding true love's path. It's a foamy bubble bath. It's the brightest, bluest skies. It's like when you win first prize. It's a cherry on the bun. All good things roll into one. Never give up on love.